Today, we are following Naomi for a simple local weekend morning in El Masnou, just north of Barcelona. In this episode we want to talk about affordability, but not in the usual way. People often say that Spain is still affordable compared with where they come from. And for certain things, that can be true. This is the Barcelona area Naomi enjoy most, not necessarily the famous places, but the ordinary streets where people are living their actual lives. That brings the grand total for this simple weekend outing research to €38. This is what everyday affordability can look like here. It is not necessarily about expensive shopping or tourist activities. It is about the rhythm of ordinary life and local people sitting outside at cafes. Healthcare, utilities, and some daily expenses can feel more manageable here. But visiting a city and living in it are very different experiences. When you live somewhere, that can be true. Healthcare, utilities, and some daily expenses can feel more manageable here, like the small daily costs, a coffee, breakfast, groceries, or a little treat, can quietly add up. Just when you enter, there is something unexpected. 3 Japanese vending machines. One has cup noodles, one has sweets, and one has drinks. Naomi loves these small surprises. A traditional Catalan market with a small Japanese plot twist, very unusual. And of course, this is only one weekend outing. For Naomi, a regular weekly grocery shop is usually around €100 to €150, depending on what she needs that week. Some weeks are simple, other weeks, apparently, is everyday life in Barcelona still affordable? This day is not about deciding whether Barcelona is cheap or expensive. It is about experiencing how local life is built, markets, cafes, home cooking, neighborhood walks, and small treats along the way. I do not think there is one answer. For some people, yes, compared with where they come from, Spain can still feel manageable in many ways. This is a scientific fact. Probably, this cafe is exactly the kind of place to enjoy. Local people sitting, drinking coffee, talking, taking their time.
So we have coffee, we have omelette, and we have a bit of ham. This coffee is disgusting.
Naomi sit down at the cafe, where local people are having their morning coffees and solving the world's problems before lunchtime. She ordered 2 sandwiches, 1 vegetable and 1 ham, and 2 decaffeinated coffees with oat milk. Judging by the look on Naomi's face, that sandwich must taste incredible. And don't even get me started on the cafe au lait. Let's just say it looks ultra delicious. Proof that the simple things in life are always the best. Just look at this amazing breakfast right here. The total is €8 for 2 people. I think this is still a nice, simple local breakfast. Of course, if you do this every day, your bank account may eventually ask to join the conversation. Now, into the market. Here, there are prepared foods that you can take away or eat inside. On the other side, there are cooked beans. And this is why Naomi like local markets. You can find almost everything in one place. Vegetables, chicken, ham, cheese, meat, herbs, charcuterie, seafood, olives, and even used books. It feels like a small neighborhood world. You could come here for dinner and leave with dinner, dessert, and a novel about someone else's bad decision. Look at this beautiful ham ibérico de biota. Spain is so famous for its charcuterie. Over here are the Italian specialties, with tons of pizza and authentic sauces. They're selling all kinds of cooking ingredients. Now we're looking at a shop specializing in bacalhau, but they also sell sardines marinated in vinegar. There's an olive shop right here too. Wait, I think I see the fish market corner with an amazing variety of fresh fish. The fish market, an oceanic red carpet of fish, clams, oysters, shrimp, and enough seafood to make Poseidon feel understocked. Just behind Charcuterie Thomas, you will find the herbalist shop, quietly offering remedies for whatever the seafood aisle may have emotionally stirred up. The used bookshop, the flower store, and, naturally, the fruit and vegetable stand, because every great market adventure needs a little greenery to balance the oysters. Naomi stops at the butcher and chats with Yolanda. She buys beef cheek and tongue for €13. These are not always the most fashionable cuts of meat, but they can make a very good home-cooked meal. And I think this is one way locals manage their spending. Cooking more at home, shopping with intention, and choosing ingredients that go further. This is the kind of shopping that makes you feel very local until you get home. And remember, you now have to know how to cook it. And for later, Naomi ordered a whole grilled chicken with potatoes for their prepared lunch for 2 days. That was €13, ready to collect in 2 hours. Yes, another €13 so far. €8 for breakfast, €13 for the meat, and €13 for the chicken. That is €34. This market has a sneaky superpower. It convinces you that everything is an absolute necessity. I'll just buy a little of this, and a tiny bit of that. Famous last words. 20 minutes later, you're carrying enough food to host a family reunion and wondering where your budget disappeared. Moral of the story? Keep one eye on the delicious displays, and the other firmly on your euros. After the market, Naomi walks around the neighborhood. She looks at the shops, but today she is only window shopping. Brave and financially responsible choice. Then they rest in the big plaza, surrounded by flats. Sitting in a plaza costs €0, which is still one of the best deals in Barcelona. Not spend the day doing tourist things. She had breakfast, shopped at the market, walked, sat in the plaza, and had a small treat. This is another local luxury, a public space where you can sit, meet someone, or do absolutely nothing. And I think this matters. Living well in Barcelona does not always need to mean spending money. Sometimes it is simply walking around, looking at the shops, and being part of the neighborhood. Then comes the real estate office, and suddenly the affordability discussion becomes much more serious. Coffee? Market shopping? Depends. Housing can completely change your experience of living here. Welcome to the advanced level of this course. Naomi spots summer hats and goes in to try them on. No hat was purchased, but several hats were given a chance. That's enough. But for locals and long-term residents, it is not only about one large expense. It is about the little costs. The coffee, the market, the lunch, the cake, the very suspiciously attractive summer hat. Before heading home, Naomi buys a slice of carrot cake for €4 and enjoys it while walking. For Naomi, the important thing is learning how to enjoy the city in a simple way. Markets, cooking at home, walking, sitting in the plaza, and choosing a small treat when you really want one. This is the part of life here that is difficult to put a price on, although, naturally, somebody will try. As we walk back, you can see the character of this area. Old houses, the church clock, graffiti, and local people sitting outside at cafes. Perhaps that is the lesson. Barcelona can still be enjoyed simply, but simple does not always mean free. Maybe the real question is this: what makes a place feel affordable to you? The amount you spend, or whether your everyday life still feels enjoyable after you have spent it. That is today's Barcelona. My lesson. Affordability is not only about the price, it is also about the life you create around it. Now, my friends, class is dismissed. It has been a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you for being here with me today. Don't forget to appreciate small joys in life. Take care of yourself and wear a little smile to the world today. It helps more than you think, and there's someone out there needs the light you carry. See you soon. Bye.